This morning, new details about the stunning communications failure after Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spent days in the hospital without the White House or senior military officials knowing. Austin's doctors now say the 70-year-old four-star general was diagnosed with prostate cancer in early December. But that cancer diagnosis was not shared with top Pentagon officials or even the president until yesterday morning.
For a situation like this, to go as long as it did without the commander-in-chief knowing about it or the national security advisor knowing about it, or frankly, other leaders at the Department of Defense. That's not the way this is supposed to happen.
In a statement released Tuesday, Walter Reed Medical Center says Austin had surgery on December 22nd to treat and cure prostate cancer, receiving general anesthesia before he returned home the next morning. But on January 1st, Austin was rushed back to the hospital by ambulance with severe pain, suffering from an infection and the buildup of fluid in his small intestines, according to his doctors. The next day, Austin was moved to the ICU and transferred some authorities to his deputy, who was vacationing in Puerto Rico. But neither she nor the White House were told he was in the ICU until January 4th. And members of Congress, senior defense officials, and the military were not informed about Austin's hospitalization for yet another day, with the Pentagon initially saying Austin was in the hospital for an elective medical procedure.
I think that he not only was derelict in his duties, but he is also deceitful about it.
This guy shouldn't be in charge of our military now.
The Pentagon says it's now reviewing its procedures.
Clearly, we could have done better, and we will do better.
Still, despite the lack of transparency and ensuing fallout, the White House says the president plans to stick with Austin for the remainder of his term. This morning, Secretary Austin remains hospitalized, but his doctors do say that his infection has cleared. The recovery, they say, can be a slow process, but that he is expected to fully recover. Meanwhile, the president's chief of staff here at the White House is now directing all cabinet members to make sure their protocols for delegating authority are up to date and that they include notifying the White House. Craig.
All right. Our chief White House correspondent, Peter Alexander. Peter, thank you.
Let's turn to our NBC News medical contributor, Dr. John Torres. How unusual is it to have complications following this procedure?
So it's a procedure that's done very often, and the complication rate is very low, 5%. Some of the doctors we talked to said 1%. And so to see these kind of complications doesn't happen very often, but when they happen, it is a surgery, and it is what's considered a major surgery, even though they consider it minimally invasive because it was robotic assisted. But complications can be what we saw here, which means that you needed a lot of attention, a lot of care.
They say he's on the road to recovery. We heard Peter talk about it. He could be out soon. But tell us about that recovery.
So his recovery is getting over two things. One, the surgery itself, the prostatectomy, removing the prostate, and that takes time, and that's going to be a recovery that's going to happen over months. And so he still has a road to recovery there. The other recovery is what happened in the ICU and why he ended up in the ICU because of surgical complications. And that recovery should be fairly quickly for most of them, but there are going to be some long-term consequences he's going to be dealing with over the next months and possibly even a year or so.
Hey, Dr. John, again, to be clear, the secretary hasn't said precisely why he did not notify all those folks, but Al thinks he had the same procedure a couple years ago. He and I were having this conversation about this particular part of the story. In communities of color, even in 2023, especially with people of a certain age, cancer can be a taboo topic. And then you add the layer of military service onto that, and then the treatments for prostate cancer, a lot of them can affect a man's perceived manhood. As a doctor, have you encountered that? And what have you advised when you have?
I've definitely encountered that. And that's one of the big fears that when men come in and they hear that word prostate cancer. Number one, cancer. Nobody wants to hear that word. Sure. But number two, prostate cancer. Erectile dysfunction is the biggest thing they think about. Like you mentioned, the manhood. And so I talked to them about what the risks are for that, what's going to happen, how the recovery is, and now the things they have that could try and get around that and try and help them with that. But at the same time, try to encourage the fact that, this is a life-saving procedure. And so we need to make sure we get rid of the cancer and treat whatever comes along afterwards.
One quick thing, the Pentagon, when it did reveal, said it was an elective procedure. Just to be clear, I mean, that is technically true. Whether or not that's misleading is another question. But technically, any surgery that's not an emergency surgery is elective, even if it's a cancer surgery that you have to have to save your life.
You have emergency, you need to do it right now. Urgent, need to do it within the next couple of days. Elective, next few weeks. Elective does not mean optional. It just means you can wait a little bit on it.
All right, Dr. Torres, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Torres.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.